any of us, and we are all part of one God. And it's important during the holidays that everyone understand it's really about respecting the differences of others, but also understanding our common bond. I will now like to turn it over to Senator Carlucci.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Attorney General James. And in Rockland County, we're the smallest county geographically, but we have the distinct honor of having the largest Jewish per capita population of any county in the nation. And we know in New York State that we can't wait for the federal government. We can't wait for other states. We have to be the leader in fighting anti-Semitism. I was talking to the majority leader, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, this morning, and she's made the commitment to me that in New York State, that the state legislature, working with the governor and the attorney general, will make fighting anti-Semitism the top priority in this legislative session. That means making sure we put our money where our mouth is, that our residents feel safe, that everyone has the ability to worship where they want to worship, wear what they want to wear. The last thing that where we should be in 2019, heading into a new decade, is where someone feels that they have to take off their yarmulke to feel safe. That is a place that we cannot allow ourselves to go, and we have to make sure that New York, the Empire State, is leading the way forward and blazing a path for other states to follow. That means making sure that our yeshivas and our private schools and our community centers like the JCC have the resources to put in security and technology that can help to make sure that people feel safe. We have to change our curriculum in school. We have legislation that we want to pass to have age-appropriate curriculum to teach about symbols of hate, so that the first place that our children hear about a swastika or the N-word is not from a hate site, it's not from a bathroom stall where there's graffiti, but that our professional teachers are teaching our children in a time and place that's appropriate so we can start to turn this around. We're going to be exploring and working with the governor to change the definition of domestic terrorism, to say that when something like this happens again, that we can treat it as domestic terrorism and have the resources to go along with it. We have our work cut out. We're hopeful that this is the tipping point that turns us in the direction that turns this around, but we know it's up to us, it's up to our Attorney General, our local elected officials that are here with me, to stand united, to stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters, to let them know that we support them, we stand with them, and we will not tolerate hate in any form. Senator David Carlucci, representing Rockland and Westchester counties. Thank you.
The Office of Attorney General has limited criminal jurisdiction, but we do work with district attorneys all across the state of New York in prosecuting crime. My office will be working with the District Attorney-elect Tom Walsh in prosecuting this case and assisting him in any resources that he may need. At this point in time, I'm going to turn the microphone over to District Attorney Tom Walsh.
Thank you, General James, and I want to thank you and your staff for your assistance. I've been working with Acting District Attorney Kevin Gillese during the transition. I will become the Rockland County District Attorney on New Year's Eve day, and I want to assure the people of Rockland County and the state of New York that we will fully and fairly enforce the penal law. We have a gentleman arrested for the heinous crimes that were committed in Muncie, pending 5 counts of attempted murder. We plan to indict this Friday, and I want to thank all of law enforcement, both at the federal level and the state level and the local level, for their cooperative efforts in ensuring the safety of the people of Rockland County and the state of New York. And I look forward to working with them to ensure that all our residents are free from hate and hate-filled crime. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank the District Attorney. I also want to thank Aaron Weeder, the Rockland County legislator, as well as Izzy Spitzer, the mayor of New Square. Obviously, you know D.A. Walsh cannot answer any questions with respect to the case. And again, my office, the Office of Attorney General, will be working with him in regards to this matter. It's also important that everyone understand that this community is traumatized and that law enforcement be present and respond to any issues that they have at this point in time. Are there any questions?
You talked about social media.
Yes.
Are there any particular sites or organizations that you're taking a closer look at?
So I'm not going to indicate what sites we are looking at, but any sites that promote hate, we recognize that, again, we are dealing with a fine line in trying to balance the First Amendment with acts of hate. But the Office of Attorney General is looking at misinformation, disinformation, as well as hate crimes and data breaches as it relates to social media overall. Any other questions?
Yeah, how do you believe you'll be able to use the powers of your office to address disinformation and misinformation on social media?
So our office, the Office of Attorney General, has wide-ranging responsibilities and duties. And it's important that we have meetings with social media and let them know that misinformation and disinformation obviously can lead to discrimination and can lead to hate. And there's a direct correlation between the two. And so whatever powers that we have in our ability to initiate any actions for individuals who engage in misinformation or disinformation or who engage in illegal business activities or misrepresentations, we are prepared to take action.
What do you believe is responsible for this rise we're seeing in anti-Semitism and violence and hate?
I think there's a number of reasons. I don't think one can pinpoint as to the rise in anti-Semitism and the acts of hate across our nation. I do know that at this point in time, social media must take some responsibility. Two, we need to talk about education. We need to make sure that our schools and our synagogues all across this nation obviously know about the Jewish experience, the African American experience, and the experience of others, and that we talk about tolerance and respect for others and the differences of others. It's really critically important that all of us understand that we live in this diverse country, and that it's really critically important that we respect others, and that we do not engage in any types of hate crimes against any individuals, and that it's really all about love.
Are there conversations you could be having with Facebook and Twitter? Are they doing enough to combat this?
So we will be having conversations with social media, with a number of outfits, a number of media outlets. They include all of the outfits that you just mentioned, and we perhaps will go beyond that. But we obviously are concerned about social media, and we believe that social media is responsible to some extent for the increase in anti-Semitism in our nation. Any other questions?
I wanted to ask about the indictment on Friday, and if we can expand on that a little bit. And in addition to the indictment, how is it working with federal partners? Because I know that they had their charges that were done separately today in White Plains.
I'll turn that over to D.A. Walsh.
Thank you. The latest information I have is that a warrant was issued by a federal judge, and the defendant, Mr. Thomas, was removed from Rockland County for further action by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District.
Will he stay in the Rockland County Jail, or is he going to be...
I do not know what the plans are of the federal government. I anticipate that he'll be detained under the federal jurisdiction and probably will not remain in Rockland County, but that's a decision for the U.S. Attorney's Office as well as the federal magistrate.
And was there enough evidence that you were able to see enough to charge him with hate crimes or possibly domestic terrorism later on?
At time, our investigation is continuing, and we intend to indict on Friday on 5 attempted murder charges.
We'll take 2 more questions.
Any other questions?
The individual in Jersey City and the individual here in Rockland County both have these vague connections to so-called Black Israelites. Is there anything that your office is doing to take a closer look at that organization, that there may be some kind of coordination?
We're going to be looking, as part of our hate crimes task force, we're going to be looking at all hate groups in the state of New York and perhaps taking action against any particular hate group that's responsible for the rise in anti-Semitism and or hate crimes in the state of New York.
So would the Black Israelites then be a hate group?
We are looking at all hate groups in the state of New York, including but not limited to this particular group.
Last question.
I had one more about this incident supposedly on November 20th. I'm not sure if there was something where, is he going to be charged with a separate assault? Because there was some story about somebody who was knifed walking down the street. There was no possible hate incident. Is he connected to that?
Both the November 20th incident and the incident that took this place is being further investigated at this time.
But can you definitively say whether or not he was the suspect in the November 20th?
The matter is being further investigated as we speak.
I thank you all for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Jennifer.
Exit.
I'm old fashioned.
All right.
Thank you. All right.